We're at Act 3. It's still day 2, technically speaking. But here's the deal. So Romeo and Juliet are officially married now, okay? So this is after that happened. So Juliet goes home, because remember, she was just supposed to be at confession. 228. Juliet goes home, and then Romeo goes to find Benvolio and Mercutio, and he is successful. So, Act 3, Scene 1 says, a public place. Enter Mercutio, Benvolio, Page, and servants. Page is just like one of their serving dudes. Yeah. Okay, so who wants to be Mercutio? Go ahead. Who wants to be Benvolio? Okay. Who wants to be Tybalt? Okay. Who wants to be Romeo?
You know,
Turner,
Turner,
come on, Turner,
No.
come on.
Okay, I'll be Romeo.
All right.
I know, right? Keegan, poor Keegan. Man, he's our trusty Romeo. Okay. You think so?
I'm gonna die.
Okay, Act 3, Scene 1, a public place. Enter Mercutio, Benvolio, Page, and servants. Okay, Benvolio.
I pray thee, good Mercutio, let's retire. The day is hot, the Capulets abroad, and if we meet, we shall not escape a brawl. For now, these hot days is the mad blood stirring.
Okay, so what's it like outside right now?
It's really, really hot.
It's so hot outside. He says people are on edge. The Capulets are roaming about. He's like, we better just go home because if we run into the Capulets, everybody's so agitated there's going to be a fight. Okay, so the Mercutio says,
Thou art like one of those fellows that when he enters that confines of a tavern, claps me his sword upon the table and says, God send me no need of thee. By the operation of the second cup draws him on the drawer, when indeed there is no need.
okay, so Mercutio's like, I'm ready for a fight. Let's go. Benvolio.
Am I like such a fellow?
Come, thou art as hot a jack in thy mood as any in Italy as soon moved to be moody and soon moody to be moved.
And what to?
Nay, and there were two such. We should have none shortly for one would kill the other. Thou why wilt quarrel with a man that hath a hair more or a hair less in his beard than thou hast? Thou wilt
Quarrel.
with a man for cracking nuts. And no other reason but because thou hast hazel eyes. What eye but such an eye would spy out such a quarrel? Thy head is full of quarrels, as an egg is full of meat, and yet thy head hath been beaten as idle as an egg for quarreling. Thou hast quarrelled with a man for coughing in the street, because he hath wakened thy dog that hath lain asleep in the sun. Didst thou not fall out with the tailor for wearing his new doublet before Easter, with another for trying his new shoe with an old
Ribbon. Yep.
and yet thou wilt tutor me from quarreling.
Okay, so Mercutio's poking fun of Benvolio a little bit. He calls Benvolio hot. Thou art as hot a jack in thy mood as any in Italy. He says, your head is full of quarrels. He says, you would quarrel a man for coughing in the street. So what's he saying about Benvolio?
He's too cautious.
He's saying that his temper is short, okay? But is that true?
No.
No, we know that Benvolio is actually very, very peaceful. So Mercutio is just poking fun of it at him because he knows that Benvolio is not like that at all. So he's saying the opposite. So then Benvolio says,
And I were so apt to quarrel as thou art, any man should buy the fee simple of my life for an hour and a quarter.
Be simple, oh simple.
so then Benvolio shoots back and says, you're the one who would start a fight over any little thing. Now Tybalt and a band of Capulets come onto the scene. And Benvolio says,
By my head, here come the Capulets.
By my heel I care not.
Follow me close, for I will speak to them. Gentle good in this, a good word with you one.
But one word with one of us, couple it with something, make it a word and a blow.
You shall find me apt enough to that, sir, and you will give me occasion.
Could you not take some occasion without giving?
Mercutio, thou art contorsed with Romeo.
Consort, what dost thou make us minstrels, and thou make minstrels of us? Look to hear nothing but discord. Here's my fiddlestick. ears that shall make you dance, sounds consort.
We talk here in public haunt of men, either withdraw unto some private place, and reason coldly of your grievances, or else depart. Here all eyes gaze on us.
Men's eyes were made to look, and let them gaze. I will not budge from no man's pleasure.
Okay. So at the beginning there, Tybalt's like, I need to talk to you. I need a word with one of you. And Mercutio's like, but one word? Okay, say your one word. He's being a smart aleck. And so then Tybalt's like, no, you know Romeo, right? Like, you're his friend. And now Mercutio just keeps shooting back with, like, these puns and jokes, and so Tybalt's getting frustrated. And Benvolio on line 45 says, we talk here in the public haunt of men, either withdraw into some private place and reason coldly for your grievances, or else depart. So what's he telling them to do?
Let's go somewhere else.
Let's go somewhere not in the streets, okay? Not in public places, because remember, if they get caught fighting in public again, what's going to happen? They're done. They're done for. Okay, so then Romeo comes on the scene, and Tybalt's like, ah ha ha. Okay, Tybalt, go ahead.
Well, peace with you, sir. Here comes my man.
But I'll be hangside. Beware your
Livery.
Mary, go before to field. He'll be your follower. Your worship in that saints may call him man.
Romeo, the love I bear then can afford no better term than this. Thou art a villain.
Ooh, burn! Tybalt greets Romeo with an insult immediately. Why is Tybalt looking for Romeo?
Because he wants to fight.
Correct. Remember, he challenged him to a duel, okay? Now, Tybalt's all, like, riled up and angry, and Romeo is the complete opposite. So Romeo says, Tybalt, the reason that I have to love thee doth much excuse the appertaining rage to such a greeting. Villain am I none. Therefore, farewell. I see thou knowest me not. He's like, that's not me. That's not who I am. Right. Okay, so then Tybalt says,
Boy, these shall not excuse the injuries thou hast done to me. Therefore, turn and draw.
I do protest I never injured thee, but love thee better than thou canst devise, till thou shalt know the reason of my love. What did he just tell Tybalt? I love you, man. I love you more than you know. But why does he love Tybalt?
Because he loves Juliet.
And Juliet and Tybalt are?
Capulet.
They're cousins, right? So he's family. Okay. Oh. Okay, so he's like, I love you, man.
Tybalt still doesn't know.
Exactly. And so, good Capulet, which name I tender as dearly as mine own, be satisfied.
The calm is honorable by all submission.
Alla stoccata.
Carries it away.
Okay. Now, Mercutio's like, oh my gosh, Romeo's not even going to fight. He's too scared. He's not going to do it. So Mercutio gets mad, and he's like, fine, I'll fight this stupid guy. I'll do it. Okay? So then Mercutio says, he draws his sword, and he says,
Tybalt, you rat catcher, will you walk?
What wouldst thou have me?
Good king of cats, nothing but one of your 9 lives. That I mean to make bold
with all.
And you shall use me hereafter. Drive beat the rest of the 8. Will you pluck your sword out of his pilcher by the ears? Make haste, lest mine be about your ears, it be out.
I am for you.
Okay, a little bit of trash talk going back and forth, and then Tybalt draws his weapon. So they both have their swords out. And Romeo says, Gentle Mercutio, put thy rapier up.
Come, sir, you passado.
And then they fight. Ching, 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 ching. Romeo says, Draw, Benvolio. Beat down their weapons. Gentlemen, for shame. Forbear this outrage. Tybalt Mercutio, the prince expressly hath forbid this bandying in Verona streets. Hold, Tybalt. Good Mercutio. Okay. Now, hold on. I need Mercutio and Tybalt to come up here. Come here. Because this is what has just happened.
Oh,
Okay. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Okay.
Zane's gonna lose.
So, Tybalt and Mercutio are fighting, okay? And then Romeo's, like, trying to break up the fight. He says, Benvolio, knock their weapons out of their hands. This is what happens. Romeo comes between Tybalt and Mercutio, okay? And Tybalt stabs Mercutio under Romeo's arm. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Okay? No. Okay, now, good, thank you.
Yep.
That was just a little visual.
No problem.
Okay, so Tybalt, under Romeo's arm, thrusts Mercutio in and flies with his men. Okay, so he stabs Mercutio, and then he runs away. Because he's like, oh no, uh-oh. Yeah, so then Mercutio says,
I am hurt. The plague of both your houses I am sped. Is he gone and hath nothing?
What art thou hurt?
A scratch. Mary, 'tis enough. Where's my page? Go, Villain, fetch a surgeon.
Okay. Now, he says a plague on both your houses, and he's going to say that a few times. So what does that mean?
Curse both your houses.
Curse both of your households. I am hurt because of your feud. Okay, but then he says, it's just a scratch. But he says, Mary, 'tis enough. 'Tis enough what?
It hurts enough that it's not a scratch.
Okay, right. It's definitely more than a scratch. So Romeo says, courage, man. The hurt cannot be much. He's like, you're not hurt that bad.
No, 'tis not so deep as a well, nor so wide as a church door, but it's 'tis enough till 'twill serve. Ask for me tomorrow, and you shall find me a grave man. I am peppered, I warrant for his world. The plague of both your houses sounds a dog, a rat, a mouse, a cat to scratch a man to death. A braggart, a rogue, a villain that fights by the book of arithmetic. Why the devil came between us? I was hurt under your arm.
Okay, so in that line, in that chunk right there, he says, ask for me tomorrow and you will find me a grave man. So Mercutio is hurt enough to what?
Die.
Die. He's going to die. Okay, and he makes a joke out of it at first so they don't understand how truly hurt he is. And then he asks Romeo, why did you come between us? I was hurt under your arm. Like, it would have been fine if you hadn't have tried to stop me. And Romeo said, I thought all for the best.
Help me into some house, Benvolio, or I shall faint. A plague of both of your houses. They have made one meat of me. I have it, and sell me to your houses.
Okay, so then Benvolio takes Mercutio elsewhere. Okay, so then Romeo, he's getting a little angry. Okay, he says, the gentleman, the prince's near ally, my very friend, hath got this mortal hurt in my behalf. My reputation stained with Tybalt's slander. Tybalt that an hour hath been my kinsman. O sweet Juliet, thy beauty hath made me effeminate, and in my temper softened valor's steel. So he's like, my love for Juliet has made me soft, and because of it, my friend has been hurt. So Benvolio comes back in.
O Romeo, Romeo, brave Mercutio's dead. That gallant spirit hath aspired the clouds, which too untimely here did scorn the earth.
So Mercutio has died. Yep. Romeo says, this day's black fate on mo days doth depend. This but begins the woe, others must end. And then Tybalt comes back in.
Here comes the furious Tybalt back again.
Alive in triumph and Mercutio slain, away to heaven respective lenity, and fire-eyed fury be my conduct now. Now, Tybalt, take the villain back again. That late thou gavest me for Mercutio's soul is but a little way above our heads, staying for thine to keep him company. Either thou or I or both must go with him. So what's he saying right there?
Both of us are dying, or one of
We're going to
one of
fight.
us?
Either you're going to go with Mercutio, or I'm going to go with Mercutio, or we're both going to go with Mercutio, but somebody's going to die right now because he is absolutely devastated about Mercutio's death. So Tybalt said,
Thou wretched boy, that didst concert him here, shalt have him with hence.
so then what does Tybalt say? Shalt with him hence. Thou wretched boy shalt with him hence. So who's he saying going to die?
Romeo.
He's like, you're going to die, Romeo. Okay, so then Romeo says, this shall determine that. And they fight, and Tybalt falls. So Romeo beats Tybalt and kills him. So now we have two dead boys on our hands, okay? So then Romeo has killed Tybalt, and Benvolio says,
Romeo, away begone, the citizens are up, and Tybalt slain. Stand not amazed, the prince will be doomed thee death, if thou art taken. Hence, begone, away.
so what's Benvolio tell Romeo?
Run away.
Run away. Why?
Because he
Because
kills
then
Tybalt.
if he doesn't, he's gonna get killed.
Yes, if you get caught, you are going to be condemned to death. And Romeo says, oh, I am fortune's fool.
Why dost thou stay?
And then Romeo leaves, and then people come into the scene. The citizens say, which way ran he that killed Mercutio? Tybalt, that murderer, which way ran he?
There lies that Tybalt.
Up, sir, go with me. I charge thee in the prince's name, obey. So then the prince comes in with his attendants, Montague, Capulet, their wives, and then a bunch of other townspeople. The prince, who wants to be the prince for me? Not too many lines. Anybody? Ethan, you want to be the prince?
I'll be prince.
You already read. That's okay.
But I'm dead.
Ethan, go ahead and read the prince for me.
Where are the vile beginners that of this fray?
O noble prince, I can discover all the unlucky manage of this fatal brawl. There lies the man slain by young Romeo, that slew thy kinsman, brave Mercutio.
Okay, so Benvolio is going to be the person to kind of explain everything that happened. So then Lady Capulet's like, Devastated. Tybalt, my cousin, oh my brother's child, oh prince, oh cousin, oh husband, oh the blood is spilled of my dear kinsman. Prince, as thou art true, for blood of ours, shed blood of Montague. Oh cousin, oh cousin. So what does she ask for right there? For blood of ours, shed blood of Montague.
Since you killed one of ours,
Whoever
you gotta
killed
kill-
Tybalt needs to die. Okay, blood for blood. So then the prince says,
Benvolio, who did in this bloody fray?
Tybalt here slain, whom Romeo's hand did slay. Romeo that spoke him fair, did bid him bethink how nice the quarrel was that and urged withdrawal. Your high displeasure all is uttered, with gentle breath, calm look, knees humbly bowed, could not take truce with the unruly spleen of Tybalt, deaf to peace, but that he tilts with piercing steel at bold Mercutio's breast, who all is hot turns deadly point to point, and with martial scorn with one hand beats cold death aside with others send it back to Tybalt, whose dexterity restorts it. Romeo cried aloud, "Hold, friends, part!" And swiver than his tongue, his agile arm beats down their fatal points, and twixt them rushes underneath whose arm an envious thrust from Tybalt hit the life of stout Mercutio, and then Tybalt fled. But by and by comes back Romeo, who had newly entertained revenge, and taught they go like lightning for ere I could draw apart them. Was stout Tybalt slain, and he fell, did Romeo turn and fly. This is the truth, or let Benvolio die.
okay, so he basically gives the prince this whole rundown. He says, Tybalt came looking for a fight, but what did Romeo say?
Stop.
Romeo's like, I don't want to fight you. Okay, and that's important because the prince needs to know that Romeo started out like, I'm not going to fight you. So then Mercutio steps in for Romeo, and then they fight, right? And still Romeo's like, stop fighting, put down your weapons. And then there's that whole thing where Romeo got between them. Tybalt stabbed Mercutio under Romeo's arm, okay? And then Mercutio died and Tybalt fled, okay? And then he explains how Romeo obviously was very upset and he was now seeking revenge. So when Tybalt came back, Tybalt and Romeo fought, Romeo killed Tybalt, and then Romeo ran away. And he says, and this is the truth, or let Benvolio die. He's like, I swear to God, that's what happened, okay? Then Lady Capulet is not having it, because she says, he is a kinsman to the Montague. Affection makes him false. He speaks not true. Some 20 of them fought in this black strife, and all those 20 could but kill one life. I beg for justice, which thou, prince, must give. Romeo slew Tybalt. Romeo must not live. She doesn't believe Benvolio because he's a Montague, okay? But the thing about Benvolio is that everybody knows he's pretty truthful. So the prince says,
Romeo slew him. He slew Mercutio, who now the price of his dear blood doth owe.
so does the prince think they need to punish anybody?
No, because one died from
Yeah.
each house.
Exactly. Okay, so Tybalt killed Mercutio, and in response, Tybalt died. So he's like, I don't really know what you want me to do. So Montague says, not Romeo, prince. He was Mercutio's friend. His fault concludes, but what the law should end, the life of Tybalt. He's like, Romeo did what what the law would have done anyway, right? Since Tybalt killed Mercutio, Tybalt would have been put to death anyway. So Romeo basically just took it into his own hands, which is not okay, but he's trying to defend his son. So the prince says,
And for that offense, immediately we don't exile him.
we do exile.
We do exile him. Hence, I have an interest in your hates, proceeding my blood for your rude brawls doth lie and bleeding. But I'll immerse you with a strong fine, that you shall all repent the loss of mine. I will be deaf to pleading excuses, nor tears nor prayers shall purchase out abuses. Therefore, use none, let Romeo be sentenced. Else when he is found, that hour is his last. Bear hence this body and attend our will, mercy, but murders, literally,
Okay, so Romeo is going to be punished, but how is he going to be punished?
Exiled.
He's being exiled, which means what?
He don't come back.
He can't. Exactly. He cannot live in Verona. He cannot come back to Verona. Yes, if he's caught in Verona again, they will kill him. Okay, but this is kind of like a lighter sentence. He's still being punished, but he's being sent away. All right. So on your summary sheets, go ahead and summarize scene 1. Try to get as much of the important stuff in there as you can.
This seems really good in that movie.